Hey, I'm out walking a little bit more with Zoe, my doggy dog. Go ahead, Zoe. I'm gonna call this a cool down walk. You know, I was also thinking about the caudate in our brain. You know, I've lost connection to that, but maybe the reason I can have such fond memories of the past or recall things that, you know, happened through my childhood and all those memories are flaring up. Maybe it's because, you know, I'm not really, all those memories were put in my brain bank, my computer bank back when I was, you know, when I had my connection to the caudate. So maybe that back then was why, you know, I can almost recall everything as a kid, my time with my brothers, my mother. And, you know, that gives me a chance to also talk about my family a little bit. I come from a family, my mother, she was divorced quite a few times when I was growing up. She had boys by different fathers, but we all were, you know, adopted under the same last name, and we all lived under the same roof. So my brothers are my brothers from that standpoint. Out of my life, I'm the only one left. My mom's passed away. My brothers have all passed away. So part of it's because of this disease, part of it's because of other reasons. But the point I'm trying to make is I remember those childhood trips, going up to see my Uncle Pete, Alabama, fireworks. I remember so many of those things, but I don't really have a great recollection of what I did yesterday or even what I did last week. Now, so that is another thing that I just wanted to get on video. That's a part of this whole brain disconnect. My plug getting undone from my central nervous or my CPU unit in my brain. You know, I'd like to do a video that shows some of this cord cutting in my brain, maybe shows the scans of a brain, what a brain looks like on Huntington's, that kind of thing. But you know, I have a lot of fond memory. I can almost recall a lot of, almost everything really, from growing up. I remember where I lived when I was 9 years old. I remember what happened when we moved and the cars that I owned and all the things in my life. My first bicycle, my dad got me, and I was so excited by it. But as we get up into this current time frame, but the stimulation of all of it, like when I was younger, you know, I got stimulated. I loved Christmas, I loved presents, I loved giving, I loved receiving, I loved my brothers, I loved my mom, I loved everybody. Now that emotional connection is kind of going away. So it's really hard to understand, but it's simple to understand as well. But all the stuff that I remember from my past, I would almost say it's, you know, almost verbatim. I can recall things like that. So now, being that where I'm at in life, I have 2 boys. That's awesome. But I don't have that sibling connection at all. My mother was one of my favorite people, and she and I really, really got along so well. But I was a baby. I was her favorite. Just ask me, I'll tell you. And I'll just ask my brothers too. I remember there was a time, you know, we had 5 boys in the house, and we'd be eating something, having dinner or whatever. Make sure Todd gets some. Because I was the last one at the trough. See, I remember those kind of things just like they were yesterday. I remember my mom making homemade spaghetti. Boy, we ate spaghetti quite often, and then she would fry chicken, cut it up and fry it. She'd buy the hamburgers at the hamburger place, and it was 5 for $1. She could get 5 hamburgers for $1. So she'd buy those because it would be a great way to feed us at least one of the meals a week. So what am I saying? I'm saying that this connection to the center of our brain is so much more important, but also I just don't know that even the psychologist or anybody else totally understand, you know, exactly what happened. So right now, if you were to say, you know, try to get me into, or try to get your spouse or loved one into some kind of, you know, therapy, we'd be like, why? You know, or what's, you know, and I'm just saying that therapy would not even do good because I'm losing the part of my brain that therapy would do any good with. So again, I'm walking. I'm going to try to keep, if nothing else, I'll try to record these snippets on my phone and get to the point where I need some professional help putting this together. I got to do it this year or it won't be lost forever. All right. Don't remember what you forget, or don't forget what you remember. All right, Huntington's East Todd, checking out again.